Okay, so before psychiatry and big pharma had brainwashed my parents and the weak stuff they learned about psychiatry and medical school, I was headed for great things. And then in 2009, after being almost 10 years off psychiatric medications, I came to the conclusion on my own, with no help from anyone, no pressure from anyone, to quit drinking. After years and years of drinking, damn near a decade of heavy drinking. In 2010, on my own, I come to the decision to go back to college. Everything, as you see, everything is on the up and up. Bright future. I've done my own research on my own. I started my Illuminati series on my own. Started gathering valid sources to prove my point about the endemic corruption in the government, in law enforcement, in intelligence agencies, and the military on my own. I started gathering valid sources about the Jesuits and secret societies and the secret society connection to prison gangs on my own. So I go back to school in about February. I go to college in February 2010. Again, decision I made on my own with no drugs in my system for almost 10 years. Then when my cousins are staying with us, I overhear a conversation with my parents about how it's a bad example that he, because I was arguing with them about the drugs being bad for children. My cousins were like, I think they were about, one was 10, I think one was 11 or something like that. And I was arguing with them, and they're, I was saying what they're doing is normal for children. Their father died. If someone has a good reason to be upset, you're better off to let them have a period of mourning, even if it's 4 or 5 years, and then to dust themselves off, rather than to drug them and damage their brain while it's still developing, which is the worst time to damage the brain. Needless to say, they didn't agree. And I overheard them having a conversation to the effect of, we need to drug him to make him an example, to switch him, switch which side of the debate he's on, so that we have less problems with them doing drugs. So in 2010, or was it 2011? It was 2010 or 2011. The anniversary of my uncle's death in late February. Okay, because I'd signed up for school, sometime in the beginning of the year, and my first interview was, to get me into school. The first meeting with the counselor was in, I believe, early February. So then late February, either later that month or it was next year, my older brother, and we had the incident with the chicken wings, where I was starving and I was very angry, very upset, and I was yelling in my room about fucking how it's bullshit, we live in the middle of nowhere, and fucking, and so on and so forth. And, there's nothing to eat in the refrigerator. There's a bunch of stuff I don't eat, filling up the refrigerator, and there's barely any room. And, why do they do it this way? Why, it's so fucking stupid to have these huge refrigerators. You have one big-ass refrigerator. Freezer. One big-ass freezer. And then you have another refrigerator and freezer. And inside you have another freezer and 2 more refrigerators. And they're all full of just bullshit. Old vegetables, fucking old stuff that just none of it I eat. And it's not because I'm that picky per se. It's because it's such bullshit. And I'm just very pissed off about it. And so I'm making chicken wings, and I don't really even feel like eating chicken wings. And we live in the middle of nowhere. So I leave. I go downstairs first to check on my chicken wings. They stopped it early. And I had many conversations with them, angry conversations about, don't stop my chicken wings early. I'm fucking starving, and I don't want to eat a cold fucking chicken wing. It's not even cooked all the way thoroughly because you're paranoid that I'm going to fucking burn down the house or something. Because I don't want to be around you fucking nonsensical idiots. So I go upstairs while it's cooking in the oven. Okay, so when I come down and you turn it the fuck off, I'm pissed off. Because, I'm already fucking starving and I'm waiting like fucking half an hour plus for these things to cook. So anyway, I go downstairs, and I'm starving. And my older brother had turned off the chicken wings and I was very pissed off. He kind of smiled about it. And so I left very angry. And then I came back. I said, you know what? By the time it takes me to go to town, I may as well spend the extra 10, 15 minutes finishing the chicken wings. And I come back, and my little cousin was staring at me, Everybody was acting fucking weird, and that fed into my anger, you know. So I go upstairs, and I'm very pissed off. I get my chicken wings, and I go upstairs. And then, make a long story short, he grabs me. He says, "We got to talk right now," you know, knowing that I'm pissed off, knowing that I'm hungry. You know, we all know that when somebody's pissed off, and he never apologized for that, okay? He apologized for taking my chicken wings, but not for confronting me while I was angry, pushing me through the door, breaking the lock, causing this ensuing struggle, and which climaxed in me going to the fucking psych ward, which culminated in me going to the psych ward, rather. I hate using that word as sexual connotations. Nothing sexual about this, everything evil about it. Not that there should be anything sexual, but let's stay on topic here. So I go through there, the lock is broken, chicken wings on the ground, plate broken, they hold me down, call the cops. I go to the psych ward for the first time in about 10 fucking years. After that, everything comes crashing down. I have more trouble concentrating in school. I go to the psych ward a few more times before I graduate. You know, I think I graduated at the end of 2014 or at the beginning of 2015, only because I had lost time from school and had to fucking have, you know, what's it called, dropping out with an F or failing with an F, or, you know, basically no credit from those courses. And so I had to retake courses because of being in the psych ward, such as in 2012 from the, you know, about the end of July, all the way to almost my birthday in the middle of September. So anyway, you know, it went from being on the up and up to being on the down and down. Okay, psychiatry hadn't helped me with anything. I was smoking weed heavily because of the situation. And then there came a point on my own, I believe it was September 2014, where I decided on my own to quit smoking marijuana because of all the damage the psych meds are doing to my brain and how I see where this is going. And I'm smoking heavily. It's costing me a lot of money. So I come to the conclusion on my own, while I'm off medications, to stop smoking marijuana. And then, so all this time, you know, the Santa Clara County Sheriff Department, Santa Clara County Mental Health Services, Valley Medical Center, Fremont Hospital, the different hospitals I'm transferred to, are feeding into my hatred. You know, I was headed for a life of peace, looking for love on the internet. These people were cyber attacking me, keeping me from finding females on the internet, and that's a fact. I was coming across only females who were answering my messages. Before, you know, I never had a problem with females answering my messages until 2010 when I went back to the psych ward. Okay, and I would say things like, "Hi, how are you doing?" You know, nothing crazy like you bootlickers might try to pretend, you know, was the case. And the responses I got, you know, only people responded were people who later on I would see in the psych ward, and they'd be laughing and giggling and acting fucking immature. So from about 2010 on, the only females I dated, after a life of fucking talking to many females and not having any problem with my love life, you know, even though I had less game before and less knowledge and all that stuff, you know, the only people I was seeing was people who were associated with the psych ward. The gang stalking began. Remember, I have countless videos. I'm going to put the links in this video so no bitch-ass motherfucker can say this is in his head or he's schizophrenic or anything, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people either who are stupid, which is the more honorable way to be, as opposed to playing stupid and being corrupt and evil and supporting this satanic system that's been run on record by people like Soros, Bush, Zabriskie, Kissinger, Biden, Obama, Nixon, Bush Sr., and lowly filth like that. And then, of course, there's cowards like O'Brien who turn a blind eye to all this. Cowards like Johnson, you know, intelligence agency filth, Homeland Security garbage, you know, Nancy Pelosi fucking baby killing trash, and all the scum we see, you know, Huckabee and fucking, you know, McCain and Boner and Boehner, just complete fucking filth, just complete trash, garbage, lowly excuses for life. Anyway, fucking Hillary Clinton, fucking psychopaths, just demonic whores, fucking scum. Okay, and these are the filth who set the social norms and write the legislation. Let's keep that in mind. And that includes the legislation that has to do with mental health, which has one of the biggest lobbying groups there is. and they team up with technology and APAC because mental health is disproportionately Jewish. Just look up Freud and Kalman, and all the key players were Jews. A bunch of eugenicists who were white occultists and Jews. And keep in mind, on record, COINTELPRO was used to plant people. You know, I don't think I have to explain to you. I have this page marked where, you know, it talks about an interview with a Black Panther. It talks about they planted informants. I don't think I have to explain that to you. If I do, you're so fucking hopeless, you know, it pretty much doesn't matter what I say. But they plant people in and around activists for the purpose of discrediting them. Psychiatry has been used historically to discredit people. It was used against me over and over again to discredit me. And I was on the way for a very educated life, a promising career in software engineering. I have a sibling in software engineering. My uncle is a fucking rocket scientist, was rocket scientist for the government. You know, everyone in my family has degrees, both my brothers, my parents, my uncles, my aunts, everybody. Very promising future, okay, until psychiatry and the government got involved. So my activism became resistance. My nonviolent approach became by any means necessary. These lowly, oppressive, repressive, imperialistic, hegemonic fucking scumbags changed my whole philosophy and view on life. Not because I was wrong to, because I had to realize how evil these people were and not turn a blind eye or playing stupid. And I wasn't playing stupid at all, you know, as far as telling the truth. I was playing stupid before about what must be done. I thought, well, maybe we can just tell the truth and everything will magically get better and people will wake up and they'll vote the right way and they'll stop voting for the Republicans and Democrats and people who sold their soul to big business. Now, as you can see, my story is quite rational. It's been the same. I first started reporting on this story in 2010 in my first Psychiatry is a Fraud series. I think it was about part 3 or so. Okay, in part 1, I report on the results of my interviews with psychiatric patients. Part 3, I start talking about the injustice that I've been faced with, how unjust the system is, how unconstitutional, how unlawful, how we punish people for thought crimes, what we think they might do. Okay, when police arrest somebody for a terrorist threat, it's not because they might kill somebody. That is a very small part of it, if it's even a component at all. It's because of what they did, terrifying people by what they said. For us to drug people covertly or forcefully for how they behave is evil, immoral, unlawful, and unconstitutional. It's unethical, and it's done by unprincipled heathens. So we are supposed to give people a choice. We're supposed to give people as much free will as we possibly can without allowing them to rape and kill. But we can't say because you might rape or kill, we're going to drug you and take away your free will and control your behavior through these pills which are meant to control behavior. SRIs, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, and so on and so forth. So these lowly dogs set me on the path to violent revolution. Not because it was my intentions, but by their actions. And when it happens, they're going to pretend, even though there isn't any proof, anything close to proof. You have thousands of videos where I am understandably angry, and only trolls who are sent to discredit me, which is what they do on record. It's how government agencies operate on record. Political sabotage, political persecution, provocateurs to provoke. And on record, they say that they want to provoke me to go to the psych ward. These people set me on a course of total war. Make no mistake. I promise to God, this is the truth. There is nothing wrong with me, and these people set me on a course to total fucking war. At one point, I was even thinking of joining fucking ISIS. Not because I'm crazy, because I knew that ISIS was more righteous than the lowly dogs who were persecuting me, who have killed so many more people than ISIS have. They kill 500,000 people a year with psychiatric medications alone. These globalist dogs and the pussy-ass pigs and bitch-ass, faggot-ass, fucking feminazi fucking shrinks that support them. And the Zionazi regime that are the most influential force in the American fucking political system. These people are lowly scum. And to shoot them all in the head is too nice for these lowly trash bags.